in pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around.
In the WNBA's 2024 season, some players chose the path of being aggressors in the heat of raw intensity, blazing talent, and constant drama, and they targeted CaitlinClark, but it didn't work out the way they had hoped. The Indiana Fever's rookie superstar didn't just step onto the professional stage with her record-breaking college achievements. She became the focus of physical tests that crossed the line and created storms her opponents couldn't control. The first to step into the spotlight was Kennedy Carter of the Chicago Sky, who on June 1, 2024, during a heated clash with the Fever, didn't just defend Clark but send a clear message. With the ball not even in play, Carter shoved her shoulder into Clark and knocked her to the floor before an inbound pass, a move so obvious it showed intent. The referees at first called it a common foul, but after review the league upgraded it to a flagrant one, signaling unnecessary contact. The fallout was swift and harsh as social media erupted, with fans heavily criticizing Carter and some even crossing into harassment that followed her off the court. Days later, she and her Sky teammates faced hostility at their hotel, a reminder of how quickly sports passion can turn toxic. Clark, calm as always, simply said it was not a basketball play, but that she had to play through it. Carter's attempt to shake the rookie didn't just fail, it backfired badly and painted her as the villain in a story she could no longer escape. And the craziest part is that it's completely real. But hold on, because it gets even more unbelievable. With Angel Reese. On June 16th, another Chicago Sky rookie, Angel Reese, took her turn. Already tied to Clark through their high-stakes college rivalry, Reese carried that same intensity into the pros. As Clark drove to the basket for a layup, Reese went for the block, but ended up hitting Clark's head with a hard shot. The play was reviewed and the referees gave Reese a flagrant one for excessive contact. Reese brushed it off as nothing more than a basketball play, but the consequences came quickly. The WNBA fined her $1,000 not for the foul itself but for skipping her post-game media duties, while the Sky were fined $5,000 for failing to make sure she complied. What happened next was even more shocking. As the foul sparked more than debate, it ignited a cultural storm. Online trolls unleashed racist and misogynistic attacks against Reese, pulling her into a wave of hate that went far beyond basketball. The incident added fuel to the Clark versus Reese rivalry, a storyline rooted in their 2023 NCAA championship clash, and turned Reese into the center of conversations about race, privilege, and the physical nature of the WNBA. Number 3 was Dejounte Carrington. In a pivotal moment during Game 1 of the 2024 WNBA playoffs, Carrington of the Connecticut Sun unintentionally poked CaitlinClark in the eye, creating controversy during a crucial 93-69 victory over the Indiana Fever. Just 90 seconds into the first quarter, as Clark passed the ball to Aaliyah Boston, Carrington reached in to deflect it, but instead caught Clark's right eye, leaving her with a black eye. No foul was called, and Clark fell to the floor in pain. Despite the scare, Clark showed her toughness by returning after a timeout and playing 36 minutes, even though she shot only 4 for 17 from the field. She insisted the poke had no effect on her performance and said it was not intentional, pointing out that anyone could see that by watching the play. Carrington echoed this by saying she had no reason to ever intentionally hit anyone in the eye. Yet social media still erupted. Some fans, including Jason Whitlock, baselessly accused her of doing it on purpose, which set off a storm of hate that spiraled into racist and violent threats against her. The most shocking part was that Clark herself stepped in, calling out those toxic fans and demanding stronger safety reforms in the WNBA. Stick around because this drama is only getting started. Before we move on, make sure to like this video. And if you enjoy our channel, don't forget to subscribe, it really means a lot. Just a clumsy misstep in a fast-paced game, but it added to the narrative of Clark as a magnet for hard contact. No fines or suspensions followed, but McDonald's name joined the growing tally of players who tested Clark and faced scrutiny for it. Ari was so locked in on defending CaitlinClark, she forgot she had an extra free throw. And that's just scratching the surface. Number 4 is Michaela Onyenwere, who added to the chaos in that same August 30th game. Her overly aggressive closeout on Clark earned another flagrant one for Chicago, cementing a troubling pattern. The Sky were responsible for 4 of the 7 flagrant fouls called against Clark in 2-4, which was a staggering 57% of the total. While no fines or suspensions were handed down for Onionware, the team's reputation took a major hit. Analysts like Shannon Sharp raised eyebrows, pointing out that 17% of all flagrant fouls across the entire league had been committed against just one player. And if that sounds bad, it gets even worse. The Sky's relentless tactics didn't slow Clark down, they only turned her into a symbol of unshakable toughness. Number 5 is Ari McDonald, showing that even players outside of Chicago got caught up in the storm. McDonald, playing for the LA Sparks, was given a flagrant one for crowding Clark's landing zone during a 3-point attempt. It wasn't seen as malicious, more of a clumsy mistake in a fast-paced game, but it added fuel to the growing narrative that Clark was a magnet for rough contact. No fines or suspensions followed, but McDonald's name was added to the list of players who tested Clark and faced criticism for it. In fact, Ari was so locked in on defending Clark that she completely forgot she had an extra free throw, another moment that showed how the pressure of guarding her often got the better of opponents. These moments weren't isolated, they were part of a larger story about a rookie fighting to survive in a league where respect has to be earned. CaitlinClark wasn't just playing basketball, she was enduring a constant test. And what happens next will leave you stunned. The players who targeted her, Carter, Reese, Carrington, Onionware, and McDonald, didn't just face fouls or fines. They became cautionary tales in a bigger saga. Carter's shoulder check didn't just earn her a flagrant one, it made her the center of heated debates about jealousy and sportsmanship in the WNBA. Number 6 is Alicia Clark. In a fiery May 25, 2024 matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces, the veteran forward delivered a controversial foul on CaitlinClark. Late in the game, as Clark attacked the rim, Alicia's aggressive defense sent the rookie sprawling to the floor. The refs called it a common foul, but Fever fans erupted, demanding it be upgraded to a flagrant because of how hard the hit looked. Replays showed Alicia's arm making heavy contact with Caitlin's upper body, fueling arguments over whether this was simply tough defense or an intentional test of the rookie. Caitlin, as always, bounced back quickly, dropping 16 points and proving her toughness even in a 99-80 loss. Number 7 is Diamond DeShields. By late August, tensions were boiling as the Chicago Sky and the Fever clashed again. Known for her relentless energy, DeShields took things a step too far when she barreled into CaitlinClark, sending her crashing to the hardwood with a thud that silenced the arena. The impact was too rough to ignore, and after review, the officials upgraded the foul to a flagrant one. The call sent shockwaves through the game, but the real fallout hit Diamond DeShields off the court. The WNBA's decision to upgrade the foul, combined with the public backlash, placed her under an uncomfortable spotlight. For CaitlinClark, it was just another bruise added to her growing collection. Number 8 is Ezi Magbiger. In the early days of Clark's WNBA journey, she faced a baptism by fire against the Seattle Storm. Magbiger, the Storm's towering center, delivered a bone-rattling foul to Clark's head during a fast-paced sequence. The contact was so hard that Clark hit the deck, clutching her face as the crowd held its breath. The referees called it a common foul, but the play instantly became a lightning rod for controversy. Slow-motion replays flooded social media as fans and analysts debated whether it was a standard defensive move or a deliberate attempt to rattle the rookie. No flagrant was issued, but the court of public opinion was far less forgiving. Clark, always the competitor, shook it off and answered by drilling a deep three-pointer on the very next possession, a powerful reminder that she was here to stay. Number 9 is Marina Mabrey. The Chicago Sky seemed to have a special talent for getting under Clark's skin, and Mabrey was no exception. In a heated June clash, Mabrey hounded Clark relentlessly, leaning into her with physical contact that pushed the boundaries of what was acceptable. One particularly aggressive bump sent Clark stumbling, and while the refs let it slide as a common foul, the play lit up highlight reels everywhere. The Sky's reputation for roughing up Clark took yet another hit, and Mabrey's overly physical tactics earned her a spotlight she hadn't bargained for. For Clark, though, it was just another day at the office. She answered with a clutch assist and then buried a dagger 3, silencing her doubters with pure skill. Number 10 is Skylar Diggins Smith. The Seattle Storm's May 30th showdown with the Fever was already a powder keg of intensity, and Diggins Smith, one of the league's most electrifying guards, only added fuel to the fire. In a heated moment, she tangled with Clark and delivered a shove that sent the rookie staggering. The refs called it a common foul, but the physicality raised eyebrows. Replays showed Diggins Smith's frustration boiling over, and fans didn't hold back, flooding social media with accusations that she was trying to bully the young star. Clark's response, however, wasn't about stats, it was about character. She never retaliated, never complained, and only played harder. Her post-game comments were calm, her focus unshaken, and her game kept evolving as she averaged 15 points per night. She wasn't just surviving the physicality, she was thriving, proving she's tougher than the toughest hits. And here's where it gets even crazier. Her grit on the court turned into gold off the court. Clark's marketability skyrocketed, landing her massive endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm, reportedly worth millions. Her jersey sales shattered records, and her social media following exploded, turning her into a true cultural icon. While her critics face fines, backlash, and short-lived infamy, it almost felt like Clark's bank account grew with every highlight reel. And the best part? She's only just getting started. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, share it with friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates. Stay tuned, this story is far from over.